So he looked at the old man's vessels.
Can you hold this here?
And realized that the inner part of them was obstructed. It was like shale inside of a pipe. And he reasoned that that's why old people die slowly and why their extremities shrivel, because the blood isn't getting to them. Well, at about the same time, by coincidence, he dissected the body of a 2-year-old boy. And not to his surprise, found that those arteries were straight and soft, and nothing was obstructed. So he said that's the reason that people die of old age, that the arteries are becoming closed off and obstructed. In other words, he discovered in the early 16th century what we call hardening of the arteries, or arteriosclerosis. Well, then he said, but why does this happen? Something is happening over time. And then he lit on it. He said there's too much nutrition in the blood. There's something in the blood that precipitates out, that comes out of the blood and deposits itself on the inside of the arteries. Except for the word cholesterol, he had made a 20th century discovery.
Given the controversial nature of Leonardo's work, his enemies had no trouble finding evidence to condemn him. The drawings were proof enough, and the fact he wrote backwards suggested he had things to hide to those out to denounce him.
He's not only dissecting the bodies of the dead, even that of a woman with child. Then this, writing which can be only read with a mirror.
You think this is to conceal the true nature of his work?
We are fearful of necromancy. There is no limit to the investigations of the Florentine.
Fetch Leonardo da Vinci.
His Holiness requires your presence.
Your Holiness.
You have been accused of witchcraft and necromancy. You spend your nights with the dead. I will not tolerate the Vatican being used as a charnel house. Leonardo da Vinci, you will not continue your unholy practice. You will not bring shame upon the Vatican or on the name of God.
He had by now completed an incredible amount of work, which he describes with pride.
120 chapters composed by me will give judgment, in which I've been impeded neither by avarice nor by negligence, but only by time. Farewell.
Tragically, even his anatomy would be another heroic failure. Like so much of his work, it was never published. The documents lay undiscovered for centuries, while the rest of the world caught up with Leonardo da Vinci.
His contribution has no significance because it was lost, because it affected nobody and nothing. And when it was rediscovered, his contribution in anatomy, all of these things had been identified anyway.
Around this time, he wrote in his notebooks,
Tell me, have I done anything of worth? Tell me if anything was ever done.
But unknowingly, he had already provided the world with his legacy. He took her with him as he left Rome. She accompanied him for the next 15 years, and she was beside him when he died. And after all the world had forgotten him, it would be the Mona Lisa who would cause him to be rediscovered. She would carry his name through the centuries to a new audience, for whom curiosity was not a crime, and where free thinking was applauded. It would be her inexplicable smile that would hint at the mysteries Leonardo had uncovered in his search for everything.